Do I think this COVID-19 is going away? The pandemic is going away? Nope. I don't even think we really hit the plateau yet. It just don't seem like it's hit yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming. I just feel like it's like a wave. Like it's like building up. To me, it feels like it's just like building up, like a roller coaster ride. How a roller coaster go up like that? That's what it's doing. The numbers are going up. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually it'll get to the top where it crests off, and then it'll come back down.
Coronavirus has invaded the world and impacted many lives. It has disrupted the very structure of living our lives as we know it. As of the recording of this video, there have been 237,000 deaths in the United States alone, and 9.83 million people that have tested positive.
I am working in the COVID unit, and I've been on this COVID unit for about, it's my second week, I think. Second week on the COVID unit. They are talking about, we are about to get an influx of patients here from a neighboring facility that has an increase in COVID cases.
Welcome. Today, I have a very special interview with a nurse on the front lines of the pandemic. You will hear in her own words her real-life struggles working with COVID patients as she takes you inside her world. Now, I introduce to you Anissa Bass, a nurse working on the front lines. Hi, Anissa, how are you?
Debbie, how are you? How are you doing?
I am fine. I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes. So why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got into nursing?
I have been a nurse. I'm a licensed practical nurse. I've been a nurse for 23 years. I got started in nursing years ago when my uncle got sick and I was taking care of him at home. So I started, taking care of him at home with my grandmother and my mom. And I started getting a love for, just nursing. And my mom convinced me to, get my CNA license. And it just kind of started from there. Went to nursing school. I was in the military for a little while, 8 years. And I just grew into loving to take care of people. I think it was just like the service of it. So I've done all types of nursing. I've had experience with pediatric home health, hospice. I've done long-term care, worked with geriatrics, worked mental health, you name it. I've done a lot of different wound care. I've done a lot of different types of nursing. And so recently, I started the facility that I work for. We started transitioning into a COVID unit, and I'm telling you, I was nervous. I was scared. I was unsure. I was uncertain. I didn't really know, if I was going to stay there and work. It was the fear of the unknown. But I'm telling you, once I let go of that fear and I just, I leaned on my source, I leaned on God and I talked to him about my fears. I said, you know what? It's just like anything that you learn, anything that you don't know. If you at least just go and try, you never know what's on the other side of that is, your testimony or you being able to say that you conquered something. So for me, it was, yes, I was afraid to work in the COVID unit. I made a video.
We have to do these things where we go in the rooms, put all our stuff on, go in the room and do FaceTime videos with the patient and the family. So that means we're in the room for a prolonged amount of time, and that's because the patient is in there coughing and doing all kind of stuff. So you know you got to have all your stuff on. Okay.
I posted it on my Facebook Live. I was nervous. I had people telling me to quit, don't go back to work, but I did it. I stuck through it, and I've been in that unit since February, and I'm still doing it now. So, and lucky me, I've not contracted COVID. I've had a lot of different people around me, nurses and stuff, that have been affected by it, and a lot of my patients have died, so mentally, mental health wise, I've even had to go and speak to, the VA and get some therapy and counseling for myself because it was very stressful. Yeah.
Okay. So now I just want to say, now you were in service. What service were you in? What branch were you in?
I was in the Army.
Okay. I just want to thank you for your service.
Were you also in the military as well?
No. Okay. So now, what has been the hardest part being a nurse and working with COVID patients?
In this climate, I think for me, it's two things actually. The personal touch, being able to really touch my patient, being able to, put my hands on them for whatever procedure I'm doing. I'm covered in PPE from my head to my feet. I got gloves on, and I can't touch them. I can't feel them, and they can't feel me. So that is very foreign for me. That doesn't feel natural at all. And then the other thing I can say is just me being in the room with this person, and if they are declining or if they're, impending, that they're going to expire, the tough part for me is just being that bridge between the family and the patient is very, it's difficult. I mean, I do it, but it's hard because I don't know how I would be able to handle something like that if that was my loved one and then there was somebody there and I couldn't be there. That's the hardest part for me. Yeah.
Okay. Now tell everybody what PPE is.
I'm sorry. Nurses, we start talking that language. PPE is personal protective equipment.
We do have all the PPE that we need. We have plenty of gowns and masks and stuff like that. So we're blessed in that area.
And what that entails is your goggles, your face mask, your hair net, your mask, and we wear two. We wear the cloth mask, and then we have the the surgical mask, not cloth, the surgical mask, and then we wear the N95 mask, and then we have the gown on. We have a uniform on underneath, and then we have shoe covers. And then we have some, like leggings that come up halfway your thigh, and then we have shoe covers that cover that, and then 2 pair of gloves.
I know it's probably really uncomfortable, isn't it?
It's uncomfortable, and it's hot, and it's itchy, and you're sweating. It's all of that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's important. You have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So now we know that this is like a respiratory illness.
Yes.
Which attacks to breathing. So
right.
What are some other symptoms not mentioned that often that people should be aware of?
Well, here recently, a lot of people have been complaining of diarrhea. I even had something like that where I just had some intestinal stuff going on. So if you have any diarrhea, if you have loss of, taste or, smell, those are new. Because everybody pretty much knows it's headache, you have muscle aches or chills or anything like that. Some of those things kind of mimic the flu. So that's why you got to be careful and you got to get tested. We test every week. Every Tuesday I test. And so far my test has been negative. But, anything like that, just within the facility itself, just hydration, making sure that people are drinking fluids. Because there's really no medicine or cure, for it. It's just hydration, making sure that they eat.
They feed us pretty good. We are eating well, salads and sandwiches and stuff like that.
And make sure that their body can fight and build up the immunity, to fight this thing. Yeah.
Right. And I noticed that you mentioned that It's kind of like some symptoms that's related to like the flu and things like that. So how can you tell the difference between a cold, the flu, and the symptoms of COVID?
You know, they really mimic each other because I thought that, you know, I seriously thought I had it a couple weeks ago because I had woke up and I had aches. I felt achy in my neck, my joints, all of that was like achy. I had some wheezing. I noticed some wheezing. And then I had, you know, runny nose. Like my nose was just running profusely. I couldn't stop it. And I was at work and, you know, they took my temperature and they sent me home. They told me, go home, get tested, don't come back until you're, you know, all these symptoms are gone. And what it was just nasal. It was congestion for me. I'm sleeping under the fan, you know, and the season is changing. You don't know if it's going to be hot or cold one day from the next. So that's pretty much what it was. So for me, that was kind of like an indicator that, yeah, this is sort of similar to flu, because that's what I felt like I was coming down with something. And even, you know, your throat, you can get a scratchy throat, you can feel like you got a sore throat. All of those symptoms mimic, but some people have no symptoms at all. I know people that didn't have no symptoms at all, and they were COVID positive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, if someone needs quarantine and their symptoms get worse, when should they go to the hospital?
Seeing that I'm, you know, I'm working in the unit where everybody has it. Typically, if a patient, say, you know, we give them the test and they get 2 negatives, right? Mm-hmm. They're clear to go home or back to the facility or wherever they came from. But if they go home and they have those symptoms to reoccur again, they should go back to their doctor, or they should try to get tested again. You know, you can get tested at CVS. They have different spots where you can go and get tested. But I would say at home, if you're just at home and you start noticing anything different, I would say get to the doctor immediately.
Okay.
As quickly as you can. Don't wait. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what would you say to people? And I know you've probably heard this. Some people don't think it's real. They think it's a hoax. Some people are not doing what they're supposed to do as far as being safety or taking precautions. What would you say to them, being a nurse working with a COVID patient?
You know, we have a responsibility, you know, to each other and to, you know, to yourself. You know, you have to be accountable. I've had people to come to my home, and I found out later they had COVID, and I didn't know. You know, so you have to be responsible. You know, everybody doesn't believe that it's as contagious as it is, but we have to take, you know, precautions and guidelines to keep each other safe. So I would say wear your mask. You know, do your hand sanitizer. Stay your distance, you know, in the store. Some people are not even doing that, you know, in the store. You're like, can you back up a little bit? Because you just never know, you know. This stuff is airborne now. It's in the air, and it stays in the air for, you know, for quite some time now. It's not like it was before. We just thought, oh, we could just touch something and we can get it. Now it's lingering in the air, you know. So I would say that everybody just needs to be very cautious. Stay home if you don't have to go out as much. Wipe things down.
So are they in pain? I mean, like what do their body go through when they're a COVID patient?
You know, you have different types because we have all ages, okay? So we have young and old, male and female, you know. Some of them already have, you know, what we call comorbidities, which is already like illnesses and sicknesses that they're dealing with. Some of them, you know, they were already dealing with something and then they caught COVID. So now they're dealing with whatever they're dealing with. It might be cancer, or they may be, you know, a dialysis patient, and then COVID is on top of that.
Okay.
So we do, you know, have pain management for them. They can have, you know, whatever pain medicine has been working for them to alleviate pain. We have, they have, you know, their Tylenol, their morphine, or, you know, whatever they use, Norco, Percocet. Yeah, they have a right to be pain free. So they're not laying in there in pain or just dying. It's not like that. No, it's not like that at all.
Okay. Can you tell us about a story about a patient that really impacted you deeply.
Ooh, with COVID.
Yes.
uh, I would say it was a recent patient that I just had. It's been within the past month. I had 4 deaths within a week's time.
Whoa.
And number 3 death was the one that it was the 3rd death. I hadn't been taking care of this man that long. It was my 2nd day because every time we come back, we rotate, so we never have the same patients every time. But he was a hospice patient, and I was getting some, I was looking over his orders and stuff, and I was trying to get, and I hope I don't start crying because it was really emotional. Let me just try to help him get through it. So I was trying to get some pain medicine for him. And because, he just seemed like he was just having some difficulty, with his breathing. He had COPD and whatnot. And so I was just trying to get something to help him relax, And so I called the family to kind of, see how they wanted to do it, if they wanted to have medicine for that, because he was hospice and we knew that he was, at his end of life. Yeah. And they were in the process of planning funeral arrangements for this man's son. Mm-hmm. So that was like, oh my God! I mean, here I am calling them to ask them about pain medicine. Well, here's the bad part. So I get the pain medicine, because I was calling to ask them, could we send him out, and they said no, just keep him comfortable. I got the pain medicine, got morphine, got Ativan. I gave it to him. Debbie, I went to lunch, came back. I didn't even come back. My respiratory therapist came to me and told me, like, within maybe 20 minutes that he had passed. And so I went in the room, and sure enough, he had passed. And so I was just in the room, and I was helping my CNA, and we were getting ready to start his post-mortem care, because, we have to get the body ready. And I know I saw a tear come down the side of his face, and that just tore me up. And then I was expected to go and call the family, and so I could not do that. I had to get somebody to do that for me. But that was an emotional, thing for me. I was happy that I was able to be there for him and with him during that time, but it was a lot,
Yeah. Okay. So now I know you said you thought you had COVID at one point. You thought you were positive. So how do you go when you go home? How do you precautions when you go home after you've been working around the patients?
It's so hard, because my kids, they want to sleep with me. They want to be all around me. I have a pet. We have a dog here. So what I do is, when we go to work, whatever we have on, we take off, we put on scrubs. And then we change that out, put back on our street clothes or whatever we wore, uniform, when we go back home. So we don't bring essentially the germs home. Shoes, I switch them out in the car, and then by the time I get home, I got some flip-flops on the road waiting on me. And then I come in the house and I let them know, hey, look, I've been covered from head to toe, but still I need to go get a shower, So I'll try to go get my shower, and then I'm ready to talk, to my family. In the beginning I was wearing, my jewelry, and, now it's like nothing. I don't want to have no jewelry on. I don't want to have any hair extensions, eyelashes, or nothing, because I just don't want to risk bringing, anything home or anything like that.
You touched on it a little bit. How do you cope with seeing so many deaths and pain, of the patients and the family members and things like that? How do you cope with it?
Today I was talking to my doctor, because I have a doctor's appointment this morning, and I was just telling her, what happened with those deaths and everything. And she really put it into perspective for me. She said, Anissa, because, I thought I was like losing my mind. I was like, God, this is a lot. I'm thinking this is going to be too much for me. But she said, Anissa, everybody's been dealing with this since January, February. Like, everybody's dealing with it. We all are going through some level of mental, stress, anxiety. If we're not taking care of the patient, we're at home, trying to keep safe in our home from people coming in, or we are going out in the public shopping, So everybody's dealing with this. It's no longer just essential workers. Now it's everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
We feel, mentally a little bit more normal. Like, okay, this is the norm now. This is life, But at first it was very overwhelming because mentally I was like, how do I shut it off? How do I disconnect from that and then come home and be a wife, be a mother? How do I do this, without losing my mind, a fear of infecting people. It's a lot.
Yeah. So now, how do you feel the pressure that has been put on you as a nurse, that you go above and beyond what you signed up for? Because when you became a nurse, nobody ever thought that it would get to this point like that. So how do you feel about the pressure being put on you?
I'm gonna tell you, when I was faced with leaving my job because of my fear, of it, or staying, I tapped into, my military training, my military experience. I tapped into that, and I said, you know what? I wouldn't just bail out on my troops. I wouldn't just leave in the middle of battle or war. If we got something we got to do, I'm not just going to leave. So that's what I did. I had to tap into that, and that soldier mentality came out, and I just remembered, the oath that I made, and I'm not only just taking care of patients, I'm serving God, I'm serving my country, I'm serving my children, I'm serving me. It was more or less, this is really not about Anissa, that's how I felt. And so I realized, it was a big thing. And a lot of people, I was looking at how people was like, even my neighbors, they was like, oh, you working at that COVID unit, you're not going to quit. And they didn't want to come over, and that was fine, but I just kind of noticed that this is important work, and I felt like it was a call of duty. I just really felt like, okay, I'm an essential worker, and I get to say that I was there and I took part in that, and I'm proud of that, so the responsibility was there and the weight of it was there, but when I switched it, when I turned the negative into a positive and I started thinking more positive, that's when it all, came together for me. So yeah.
Now the holidays are coming, and it's going to be time where families usually get together.
Yeah.
How important is it for families to still practice safe distance, washing their hands, wearing a mask, during those times?
Well, it's 6 of us, I think, 6, 7, maybe 7, that'll be here. I have about 7 people here, and I have shoe covers at the door. I have hand sanitizer at the door. I have, wipes. I have all kind of stuff. Like I have masks. Now I don't know if they're gonna be doing, consistently, but it's there. And seating arrangements. I'm trying to suit people, a little bit further than each other and stuff like that. Remember, cover your mouth and wash your hands and all of that. So yeah, those things are important. But we're not gonna have a lot of people here. It won't be a lot.
Okay. So now this is the last question. What would you like to share about COVID that you think people need to understand, help them to be safe, or to help other people to be safe when they're around them?
COVID has no gender. COVID has no religion. COVID has no color. COVID has no, no person of interest. It's the world's issue. We're all affected by this. And get yourself educated. Don't take people's word for anything. If you see something or you read something, even if they post something on TV, do the homework, look it up, go find out for yourself, find out what you need to know about it, and don't just take people's word for it, or just don't assume, that it's nothing. And because people were saying, it's a conspiracy, it's all man-made, and I even thought some of those things were true, but then I started seeing people actually dying, from this. And that, me working in that unit, allowed me to see that hands-on. Otherwise, if I was not working in that unit, I wouldn't have been able to see that that was actually something that is actually happening. And so yeah, it's definitely best to do your homework on it and make sure you got all the facts on it, and just keep yourself informed.
So I'll just keep doing my daily vlogs and talking about my experiences over here from COVID. And just the most difficult thing is just breathing through this mask all day. That's why I'm outside right now, just trying to get some fresh air. I'm gonna take the mask off in a minute, but you have to train yourself just to have it on, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to breathe through it. But anyway, I want to show y'all what we do. Y'all be safe out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed the conversation. I learned a lot, and I hope people learned a lot. If anybody wants to reach out to you, how can they reach you?
They can reach me. I'm on Facebook. It's Facebook, Anissa Marie, at facebook.com. They can reach me on Instagram at Anissa Marie 03 at Instagram. And I also have a YouTube channel. On YouTube is Anissa Marie as well. And I have two channels there. One is A Beautiful Spirit Marie, and another one is Collective Creators. And so those are the ways that you can reach me. And then I have the email address if you need to email me for any reason. It's anissabass1@outlook.com.
Okay. And I wanted to say thank you. And I want to thank everybody for watching. If you want to reach out to Three Women Voices, you can reach us at the number 3 womenvoices.com. Our email address is 3womenvoices@gmail.com. We're on Instagram at the number 3_women voices. And we're on Facebook at the number 3 women voices. And I thank you for watching. Join me next week as Anissa shares her exciting life outside of being a nurse.